If you own a home here in New Jersey, you've probably wondered, at some point, how long is my roof actually going to last? It seems like it should be a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's a bit more complicated than you'd think. So, let's break it down.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, it's a perfectly logical assumption. You buy a shingle that says 30-year on the label, you expect to get 30 years out of it. But here in the Garden State, that number on the package, it rarely tells the whole story. You know, the truth is, a roof's real lifespan has everything to do with its environment. And a New Jersey roof is just constantly battling the elements, from that baking summer sun to freezing snow in the winter. And that four-season fight, it really takes a toll.
Okay, so here are the real numbers you can expect in New Jersey. Your standard 3-tab asphalt shingles, the most common kind you see, they typically last somewhere between 12 and 20 years. Now, if you upgrade to architectural shingles, you're looking at a healthier 20 to 30. Then you get into the real heavy hitters. Metal roofs can go for 25, 45, even more years. And slate or tile? A century, maybe longer. On the other end of the spectrum, you have flat roofs, and they have the shortest lifespan, often needing replacement in just 10 to 16 years.
So why the big difference between what the warranty says and what actually happens? Well, the answer is our unique 4-season climate. It presents a whole set of challenges that you just don't see in other parts of the country.
Just think about what a roof has to put up with here. In the winter, you've got water seeping into tiny cracks, then it freezes, expands, and turns those little issues into big ones. Then in the summer, you have that intense heat and humidity that can literally cook the shingles, causing them to curl and warp. Add in our coastal storms with high winds that are trying to peel everything off, and heavy snow that melts and then refreezes at the gutters, creating what we call ice dams. It's a year-round assault, really.
But here's the thing. Even with our tough climate, the material itself isn't actually the biggest factor in how long a roof lasts. And this is probably the most important and, honestly, the most overlooked part of the whole equation. It has absolutely nothing to do with the brand name on the shingle package. This quote from a roofing professional, it just gets right to the heart of it. A roof isn't just one layer of shingles. It's an entire system working together. And the secret to a long-lasting roof isn't the brand, it's how that system is built, and, this is crucial, how well it can breathe. This slide really shows the big disconnect. Homeowners, we're often encouraged to focus on things like the brand name, how long the warranty is, or the shingle color. But what do experts prioritize? Well, it's the quality of the installation, that protective layer called underlayment that goes under the shingles, and most importantly, attic ventilation. Without proper airflow, your attic gets superheated in the summer, and it essentially cooks your roof from the inside out, which drastically shortens its life. So how can you tell if your roof is getting near the end of its life? Well, the good news is you can spot most of the key warning signs safely right from the ground. No ladder needed.
Okay, here are 5 things to look out for. First, are the edges of your shingles curling up, kind of like a piece of paper? Second, do you see bald spots where those sandy granules have worn off? You might even see a bunch of those granules collected in your gutters. Third, any obvious cracks or, a whole missing shingle? That's a clear sign of trouble. Fourth, look for dark streaks. That's usually algae or moss, which holds moisture against the roof. And finally, check your gutters. If they're always clogged, it means water isn't draining the way it should, and that can cause some serious damage.
Now, if you're spotting some of those signs, you're faced with the big decision. Can you get away with the repair, or is it actually time for a full replacement? Here's a simple guide to help you figure that out. So here's the rule of thumb. A repair makes sense for isolated issues, like if a few shingles blew off in a storm, especially on a younger roof that's otherwise in good shape. But it's time to really start thinking about a full replacement when the damage is widespread, when you're seeing those signs of aging everywhere, or your roof is simply past that 20-year mark. At that age, patching one problem often just means another one is right around the corner. Replacement becomes the smarter long-term investment. Ultimately, if your roof is getting up there in age, the best first step you can take is to get a professional inspection. It's really the only way to get a clear, unbiased picture of its true condition, so you can make an informed decision and protect your home.